This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
Good evening, everyone. The trial of 5 men and 1 woman accused of kidnapping and assaulting a Victorian man in February 2015 has begun. All 6 pleaded not guilty to the charges in the Launceston Supreme Court today.
It's the Crown's case that the 6 accused worked as a team to kidnap and detain Anthony McHale for 3 days in February 2015. The group consisted of Christopher Humphreys, Malcolm Main, Kane and Sean Richardson, Matthew Williams and Carly Deckers. The court heard McHale was transported at gunpoint to a number of houses in the Launceston and Port Sorell areas, demanded money from and moved between various vehicles. The Crown saying he was verbally threatened, choked, kicked and punched. At one point, it's alleged he tried to escape, which is when he was shot at multiple times with a pistol. All 6 pleaded not guilty to the charges, ranging from kidnapping to aggravated assault. The trial is expected to run for up to 3 weeks, with the jury set to hear from a number of key witnesses, including the alleged victim's mother, numerous members of the police force and a medical practitioner. Anthony McHale is expected to take the stand tomorrow morning. Jessica Moran, Southern Cross News.
Emergency service workers are calling for change to workers' compensation. Unions say post-traumatic stress disorder is an epidemic in the industry, but for many, seeking help is too difficult.
The Health Minister today spruiking the $689 million Royal Hobart Hospital redevelopment, this time with props.
This is the largest crane that's come to a construction site in the state's history. It's 120 metres, it can lift 32 tonnes.
This crane will help build the 10-storey tower, which the government says is on track to be completed by 2019. Also providing an inside look of what to expect with this virtual hospital tour.
We as a Liberal government are so committed to improving our health system.
But not all is well within the industry. Serious concerns today raised about frontline emergency service workers experiencing what's being called an epidemic of post-traumatic stress disorder.
We need serious change to our workers' comp legislation.
The Health and Community Service Union releasing a damning report detailing the hurdles for claiming treatment.
We've got circumstances right now where we've got members quite clearly who have post-traumatic stress disorder, which is often made worse simply because of the legal wrangling that goes on with making such a claim.
Peter Jones has been a paramedic for more than 4 decades. His cumulative experiences, such as first on ground at the Port Arthur massacre, all contributed to his PTSD. He says he's walked away from seeking help numerous times because of the level of scrutiny from insurance companies.
Being sent to tribunals to prove I had an injury, then privately was paying for some medication. For everything we do in frontline emergency services, there's a price to pay.
The Health Minister says his government has already provided additional support.
A paper or a proposal that's supposedly going to be provided to the government today, and as we've said, as a responsible government, we would consider it.
But Labor claims he isn't taking the issue seriously.
These are things that happen in the line of their duty, and we need to ensure that if that does happen, that they get the support that they need.
Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
Tasmania's former Chief Magistrate has joined calls for the decriminalisation of some drugs. Community legal centres say treating drug use as a criminal matter isn't working and it should be approached as a health issue. But the state government says decriminalisation would send the wrong message to young Tasmanians.
Tasmania's justice system sees more than 1,000 people charged, prosecuted and sentenced on average every year for drug-related offences. Under current laws, these offenders are treated as criminals, with fines, recorded convictions and sometimes prison. But today, Community Legal Centres Tasmania launched a report calling for change.
The status quo certainly isn't working. We have a drug market which continues to expand, become more and more dangerous.
Former Chief Magistrate Michael Hill has added his voice to the push for reform.
You can protect the community by putting people in prison if you want to, and you'll protect them for the period of that particular sentence. But our recidivism rate in Tasmania is pretty high.
Anglicare offers treatment for people affected by drug addiction and says it should be treated as a health issue, not a criminal one.
People who fear it becoming a criminal matter might choose not to seek support earlier. And so there are obviously health issues that can arise from that.
But the government says drug decriminalisation sends the wrong message and current laws are here to stay.
It's both a health issue and it's also a law and order issue. And from the health system point of view, we provide support and education, and also we provide detoxification services and rehab services to people who come forward needing help.
The most recent data from the Australian Crime Commission says 19% of Tasmanian drug arrests relate to amphetamines, while 65% relate to cannabis.
I would have thought if you would have stopped those people getting into the criminal justice system for offences involving small amounts of cannabis, that would be a big win for the community, not only for those people but also for the community.
Michael Breen, Southern Cross News.
Tasmania Police is renewing calls for information about the state's missing persons as part of a National Awareness Week. Around 125 people are reported missing in Tasmania each year, half of them aged 13 to 17 years, although most are found within 48 hours. There are more than 150 long-term missing people cases in the state, dating back to 1955. It's an unusual way to make a statement, but unions and UTAS staff today used cake to rally senior university executives over ongoing staff agreement negotiations. Staff say they have been pushing for a single agreement and increased job security for years and are threatening industrial action as of next month.
They can't have their cake and eat it too. If they're going to boast about the reputation of the university and how well it's doing internationally, then they need to look after their staff and they need to commit to a single staff agreement.
The university was contacted for comment. Tasmania's specialty timber sector is teaming up and raising its voice. Today, some of the industry's products and craftsmanship were on display for the launch of Living Wood Tasmania. The organisation has been set up to represent the high-value sector.
There's a lot of misinformation about the sector, that there's no timber left, that the skills are dying out, that the cultural heritage has been assigned to the past, and it's really not the case.
The organisation says sustainability is the key issue affecting the industry. Now a look at business and finance with thanks to Tasplan, your local super fund. The Australian share market has closed higher, led by mining and energy stocks as local investors gained a little confidence from lifts in markets overseas. The ASX 200 index has risen by 17.8 points. A short time ago, the Australian dollar was trading at 79.81 US cents and 106.36 New Zealand cents.
The TSL's surprise packet for 2017, Lauderdale, has a top 2 finish in its sights with an enviable run home to the finals. But getting there will require careful management of gun forward Thor Boscott. The option of resting him for a game isn't being ruled out. With 37 goals under his belt this season and AFL scouts circling, Thor Boscott is a crucial part of the Bombers' recent blitz. But his club is wary of a niggling calf injury, which could be his undoing.
We think that we'll be able to manage him through the next few weeks, but he's really important, and for his own, I suppose, career, it's important that he finishes the season off strongly.
Injury has cursed him before. Boscott missed last year's finals due to a broken foot, so the club isn't taking any risks this time around.
We may just need to give him a spell. We don't want to, but if it gets to that stage, we won't have any hesitation in giving him a week off.
Lauderdale has the best run home of the top 3 sides against bottom-placed Burnie this week, then the 6th-placed Hobart City Demons. Following that, a grudge match against Clarence before having a bye to freshen up for finals. Meanwhile, Clarence has all top 5 teams until the end of the season. It's also a close race for the RACT Insurance Player of the Year. For round 17, Tom Couch carried the flag for North Launceston once again, earning 3 votes against the Tigers. Nick Baker was the standout for Hobart City Demons against Launceston. For Lauderdale, Nat Franklin found plenty of the footy against Glenorchy, earning the 3 votes, and Jackson O'Brien took home maximum points for Clarence. On the leaderboard, Jay Bowden sits on top for Glenorchy with 16 votes, followed by Tom Couch on 15. Northern Bombers teammate Brad Cox-Goodger rounds out the podium with 13 votes, while Jackson O'Brien moves into 4th. Australian cricket's ongoing pay dispute is preventing the Hobart Hurricanes from signing their import players. A non-binding agreement has been made, but anything formal has to wait until Cricket Australia and the Players Association see eye to eye.
But until they've signed on the dotted line, they're not actually going to be playing at the Hurricanes. That's been a little bit frustrating for both parties.
We've had a few of our locals actually stand up in sort of last 6 weeks of training, and we're very impressed with how they're going. So that might mean we retain the same internationals that we had last year.
The fixture for the upcoming season has also been revealed. The women's team will open its season against the Strikers at Blunston Arena before the men's side faces the Renegades on December 21. The historic first game in Launceston will be against the Thunder on December 30. Olympia Warriors striker Jacob Sklenar is almost certain to play in tomorrow night's FFA Cup clash after being sidelined for the past 2 weeks with an ankle injury. Nick Mearns will also return for the clash against Apia Leichhardt. Olympia's president says the structures are in place. Now it's all up to the players.
If they're not able to execute Kenny Weston's game plan, then we could find ourselves in trouble.
Meanwhile, South Hobart has secured this year's NPL title after beating Kingborough Lions 5-0. The result puts South Hobart an unassailable 12 points clear on top of the table with 3 rounds to go. And finally tonight, 3 of Tasmania's top athletes are in London preparing for the World Athletics Championships starting this Friday. Josh Harris is first up for the Tasmanians, running the marathon on Sunday. Stuart McSwain will compete later on in the 3,000 metre steeplechase before Hamish Peacock enters javelin.
They'll be meeting with all their teammates, national coaches, ready for the World Championships.
And 16-year-old Sam Walker is also in Switzerland ahead of the first World Para Championships for juniors.
Good evening. Hobart, 14 degrees, and along with King Island, had our top today. I just hope it's good on King Island tomorrow for my quick visit. Launceston and Devonport reached 13 and Burnie a top of 12. Fingal had the low of -4. Temperatures today close to average. Flinders Island, Low Head, Bushy Park and Strawn 13. Wynyard and St Helens 12. Sheffield 11. Lyoweeney a top of 6. A broad cloud band is over the southeast of the mainland. That's linked to a trough, which is also linked to a cold front. Another frontal band is over and south of Perth, with high level cloud streaming ahead of it as well. Scattered cumulus cloud over the state today on that close-up picture. Tomorrow, a high over eastern Australia is linked to another to the southeast of Tasmania. A cold front moves over the Western Bight area with the next high to its west. Variable winds mostly tomorrow and only between 5 and 15 knots. They will tend southerly over the east coast later, swells at 3 metres in western and southern waters. We have a road weather alert. That's current statewide for icy roads. Now the forecast for tomorrow, mostly sunny for Hobart, 12 the top, 11 for Adventure Bay, a cold start for Tarraleah, -4 to a top of 9. Launceston, early frost and fog as well, 13 the top, 13 for Devonport and sunny, and Bridport a sunny day and 14 degrees. Also for Burnie, a sunny one, 12 the top, 13 for Strawn, mostly sunny. Marrawar, a sunny day, 13. And on the east coast, partly cloudy for St Helens, 14 the top, 13 for Swansea, partly cloudy. White mark on Flinders, 13 degrees, and sunny, 13 as well for Curry on King Island. Light winds and mostly sunny. On Wednesday, a very cold, frosty start. Fine though, apart from a possible shower over the east. Cold again on Thursday morning, another shower over the east and maybe later over the northwest. Showers across the north and east on Friday before developing later over the west. Some cloud over Perth and Adelaide tomorrow, but still fine. Sunny weather for Canberra, Sydney and Brisbane. Just the chance of a shower for Cairns. Partly cloudy and 9 degrees right now in Hobart. It's clear in Launceston on 6 and in Devonport currently 7 degrees. And Joe, I know you're going to struggle, but you're going to have to get through tomorrow night without me.
Oh, how will I manage that? Thanks so much, Merv. Well, that's all from the news team for now. We will, of course, see you with updates right throughout the evening. Thanks for your company. Bye-bye.